Hello, my beloveds, and this is P.Keadge, your host on Something Good is Going to Happen to You Today. And I am here to tell you that something good is going to happen to you today. And this is my podcast. I have been thinking a lot about starting my own podcast, but I never knew how to start. I tried to Google to watch YouTube videos on how to start a podcast. And I realized that there is no single way of starting. You just have to start. And since I'm a good storyteller, or maybe, I want to try and share my story about starting this podcast today. My journey started about a month ago when I first bought my microphone and my equipment to record my podcast, but I never thought about the depth of learning about a podcast. So I started to look at the beasts in the field of podcasting, and I tried to figure out how am I going to start my podcast. I have done a lot of recordings. I have rehearsed, I have copied them, but I came to the realization that there is no good way of starting, because even now I don't know if I'm starting it or not yet. Perhaps this is also a trial, but I hope not, because I've done many trials before and I've rubbished them off, because I had the self-doubt that I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough yet. So I just decided to set up my equipment, sit in front of it and start talking into my microphone. Then I realized that starting is always the hardest decision, because you never know how to start. You never know. You always just keep on thinking and thinking, thoughts and thoughts. But until you decide to do it consciously or unconsciously, you find yourself doing it. For instance, I have rehearsed a lot for the past 1 month, and I was to launch this podcast actually earlier this month. I never launched it because I felt that I was yet to be good enough. And I have been rehearsing, and still I feel like I'm not good enough yet. But I hope you will travel with me through this journey, and you will notice how I improve gradually. I have been teaching myself how to record podcasts, how to edit them, and I have also written scripts. But I still felt like I'm not meeting the good audio quality. Then I realized that why would I compare myself with someone who's been in the industry for over 3 years? I'm just a beginner, right? And what if I start today? 3 years from now, I wouldn't be the same. And if I keep on thinking about starting, then I will probably never start. I will keep on postponing that I'm not yet ready to start and will give myself excuses. And the more I give myself excuses, I realize that I will never do anything. I will never progress. So I just decided to come and share this today. And when whatever you're thinking of starting, I will just advise you to start. Don't think about are you ready yet. Don't even think if you have the capacity, if you have the capability. Don't compare yourself to the big fish in the industry, the people who have already been in the industry for a while. Although you may want to look up to them, to be like them at some point, but comparing yourself to them is something that will derail you. It will drain you actually. It will make you not make a single step to move forward. And I think that is the best starting point of anything actually. But there is no best way of starting. You just have to find a suitable way of starting and start. You don't have to think a lot. The more you think a lot, the more you want to do anything. Time will go by, time will pass by, but you will always have that self-doubt in you. But until you overcome it, you may never start. You have to accept that you're just a beginner yet, and you may never start as being perfect. Because I realized that the people we often look to be never start that to be perfect. They were never perfect when they began. Most of them were rejected, some underwent shame, they were booed off the stage, but still they kept on going. And I've been thinking about myself actually. Will this happen to me? Will I get booed off? Will I get rejected? And I said, let me try. I don't want to think, because if I think, I will not do it, because my mind is always there to tell me, you can't do it. But I'm always there to tell it, shut up, we have to do this. So even as we speak, I don't know if it's my mind speaking or myself. It's something confusing to start actually, but I believe you will walk with me through this journey. So in whatever you're thinking to start, just start today, start now. Go ahead and start. Stop thinking about starting. You'll never start. You just go to do and start. Never think that you need to know more about starting, about the thing before you start. You'll know it on the way. Like with me, I've just decided to record it and begin. So I have learned that starting is actually the decision to start. the decision to take action, the decision to begin. Although you may have some background knowledge, but you don't need to have full knowledge on what you're going to do. You don't have to think about it, how it will be like. You just have to do your thing, just start. Starting, actually, I think is just a decision. You just make a decision to start, and you start. So in this podcast, I'll be using storytelling, narrations, and poetry to bring you the good word that something good is going to happen to you today. And I hope that telling you today to start as a decision, just make the decision to start, is something good that you'll hear today. See you next Saturday and have a great day. For you are great. It's your host, P.Keadge.